Welcome to The Issue Is, Fox 11's new political show, talking what's hot, what's important, what's affecting you. I'm Elex Michaelson. Tonight, the issue is the future of the Me2 movement. The mother-daughter combo of Gloria Allred and Lisa Bloom join us for a rare joint interview. We talk Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, and Gloria's connection to Meghan Markle. Plus, hot topics with our panel. KABC Radio's John Phillips, Sandra Tsing of NPR and The Atlantic, and Jessica Levinson of Loyola Law School. The Issue Is starts right now. And welcome to The Issue Is. I'm Elex Michaelson. Yet another school shooting in Texas. We'll talk about the issue of gun control with our panel later in the show. But another huge issue is that of sexual harassment in the Me2 movement. And two of the lawyers at the center of almost every key case are Gloria Allred and Lisa Bloom, who happen to be mother-daughter. It's rare that you guys sit down together, so it's great to have both of you here on the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Our big topic this week is the future of the Me2 movement, and where do you see that future going?
Well, I think it has a bright future. Because, I mean, I've been practicing law for 42 years. Even before #MeToo, I was bringing women out to have their voices heard and to correct the injustices against them. And I see women refusing to suffer in silence, coming forward, wanting to assert their rights, either in courts of law or, in addition, through a confidential settlement. So I'm very proud of these women, and I see more and more big names are going to have to be accountable.
Lisa?
I think we're just getting started. A lot of people say to me, you know, is it almost over? Oh no, oh no. I think women are finding their voice like never before. I have many people calling me at my law firm saying, I could never have done this 6 months ago, but now I'm ready. I'm ready to file a sexual harassment claim. I'm ready to go to the police about that rape case. So I think we're just at the very beginning of this.
And one of the things that has changed is we've now had a major criminal conviction for a high-profile person,
Yes.
Bill Cosby. Both of you very involved in that. Gloria, right afterwards, you said this. Take a listen.
The jury in this second criminal trial found that they believed women, and I'm the happiest I have been about any court decision in 42 years.
Happiest you've been of any case in 42 years. Now the big question is Harvey Weinstein next? Have you been in communication with any investigators regarding Harvey Weinstein?
Well, I'll just say that certainly law enforcement has been in touch with me.
Have they been in touch with your clients?
Of course, they're interested in speaking with my clients, but I won't disclose whether my clients have spoken to them. I think there are very serious investigations, criminal investigations going on in Los Angeles, in Beverly Hills, in London, in New York, and a lot of effort is being put into investigating this, and we'll see what happens, whether or not there are going to be indictments or not.
Do you think that he's going to ultimately be criminally charged?
It's possible. I don't know if it's probable. But meanwhile, we've also filed lawsuits against Mr. Weinstein, also against the Weinstein Company, and we're pursuing those. And the Weinstein Company, of course, has filed for bankruptcy, and but we're pursuing the company in bankruptcy.
And Lisa, I know for a time you were working with Harvey Weinstein, and then there was some blowback on that. There was an article in Politico that said, you know, does Lisa Bloom deserve redemption after this? Was working with Harvey Weinstein a mistake, and why do you deserve redemption?
Well, you know, I have a entertainment law practice in addition to the discrimination and harassment cases. That's the primary focus of my practice. We have 15 lawyers in my law firm. Once Mr. Weinstein became accused of sexual assault, we immediately withdrew, and so I really can't comment on that any further. I would love to talk about our revenge porn case that we filed this week against 50 Cent, because I think that's also an important part of the Me2 movement, women speaking out about illicit images being posted against them. California, by the way, has great laws against revenge porn, and I see more and more women saying, you know, no, this is unacceptable. This is a form of sexual harassment, even sexual abuse, and we're going to say no to it, even if it's a big celebrity like 50 Cent posting.
Right. I know you've referred to the Weinstein thing as a colossal mistake in being involved with that. What was that like for your dynamic as somebody who's on the other side representing people against Harvey Weinstein? What was that like for the two of you?
Would you like
Well,
to talk
all
about
I can say is I'm always proud of my daughter. She has her separate law firm. She makes her own decisions. I have confidence that she makes the right decisions, and all I can say is I support her and I love her.
Yeah, well, there you go. I mean, I love my mom. Listen, when you practice law as long as I have, in my case it's 32 years, we have hundreds and hundreds of cases every year. You know, sometimes you take a case that later on you say, gee, you know, I wish I hadn't done that. But you move on and you continue to fight. My clients have been very, very appreciative of our work over the years. Our phone's ringing off the hook, and that has never stopped. And we're continuing to fight for people and get them great results. Millions and millions of dollars for sexual harassment victims this year and every year.
Well, and I know my daughter is a strong feminist and a wonderful women's rights attorney. Yeah. And I want to say, too, that we have to go after the predators. That's what really matters. I just filed the lawsuit against Chris Brown, the singer, and Young Lo, his pal, allegations of sexual assault at Chris Brown's house. Right. And we're taking that very seriously.
And we represent Chris Brown's baby mama, who he hasn't been paying child support to.
Yeah, and of course they deny that. But let's talk about, you're talking about that your phones are ringing off the hook. Are there more big names that are about to go down? Are there big names that you're engaged in confidential settlements with that we don't even know about?
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, of course. Many, many big names that you don't know about, and there'll be confidential settlements. There have been. We're doing them all the time in our law firm. And I just want to say that we will continue to do so. And even though there are legislators who want to prevent confidential settlements, I say that that's wrong, because I think that victims have a right to the privacy if they wish to have it. Yeah. If they want to have a confidential settlement, I don't think they should be restricted in their ability to have it.
On that point, Lisa, does the public have the right to know that a potential predator is out there?
Yeah, I guess we have a little bit of a difference of opinion on that one. So California has a wonderful new law that says you cannot have a confidential settlement in a sexual assault case. And if attorneys try to do that, it will be unenforceable, and the attorneys can be disciplined. And so, listen, when a client comes to us, our job is to represent her and look out for her best interests. And sometimes we try to be creative about it. But as my mom says, many times the victim wants that confidentiality. But what we're seeing is increasingly that they don't, or at least that they want the option. And so we're able to craft agreements where maybe the company will admit that there was some wrongdoing, in the case of Fox News, for example. Or she can speak out in the future. I literally settled a case today where we carved out that my client can speak about this if she wants to in the future. And I think that's the trend we're going to continue to see.
And I think the important takeaway on all this, Alec, is I am there to serve my client and what she wants, and to get her the best possible settlement that we can get her, not to bring an agenda of my own into it and say for the cause there should not be a confidentiality settlement. I have to do what she thinks is best, and I support her in that.
All right, well, we're not done with this conversation. Up next, this is the weekend where it's all about the royal wedding. How Meghan Markle says that Gloria Allred impacted her. Plus, there's now a third generation of lawyers in the family. We're going to talk about that and continue with Gloria and Lisa Bloom on the Me2 movement. More when we come back. You like this song, right?
Took me a minute to hear what it was.
Beautiful look at Santa Monica tonight. Welcome back to The Issue Is, continuing our conversation with the mother and daughter legal powerhouses, Gloria Allred and Lisa Bloom. And now, as it happens, of course, this is also the weekend of the royal wedding. That's happening across the pond. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Meghan is a global ambassador for the United Nations Women's Rights Organization. And during a recent speech, Markle talked about something that happened when she was 11 years old. She wrote letters to the makers of Ivory soap, asking them to stop implying that only women do the dishes. She wrote to Hillary Clinton and to 2 other women. Take a listen.
I also put pen to paper and I wrote a letter to my news source at the time, Linda Ellerby, who hosted a kids' news program, and then to powerhouse attorney Gloria Allred, because even at 11, I wanted to cover all my bases.
So, and he wrote back to her, and then the policy actually changed.
Yes.
So what did you make of that, and what's your reaction to all that?
I was absolutely thrilled that she wrote to me when she was 11 years old and recognized that when the commercial said women fight the grease in pots and pans, that there's something wrong with that, especially because reportedly a boy in her class said, yes, women belong in the kitchen. She thought that was wrong. She asked her dad, what should I do? And her dad said, write to some powerful women. and I guess get some suggestions. She wrote to me. She wrote to Hillary Rodham Clinton, apparently to Linda Ellerby, and I responded. I'm so glad that I did. And the next thing we heard is that Procter & Gamble changed the commercial to "People fight the grease in pots and pans." So she is an empowered woman. I'm very proud of her, and I think she's going to be a force for women's rights in England, in the UK, and we'll have a worldwide influence as well.
So would you say this wedding wouldn't have been happening without you? No, I'm just kidding.
And I noticed that the list of charities they're asking people to donate to, they have some women's rights organizations.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's because of her.
Well, she's also influenced you, obviously, as well. And you're now influencing your daughter, who's gone into the legal profession as well. I think we have a photo of that. Talk to us about her. Tell us a little bit about her and what it means for you to have this sort of family business going.
Well, I'm very proud of my daughter, Sarah. She was a brilliant student in college and law school. She's now a third-year attorney. She practiced in a big firm in New York for a couple of years, and I was able to recruit her away to come work in my law firm.
Well, the battle's not over yet, I can tell you.
And my son, who is a paralegal...
After she takes the bar exam in California, I'm going for it.
And my son, who is a paralegal, works in my mom's law firm.
Yes.
So,
And
Alex, we're spawning them as fast as we can because the battle is long and tough for victims' rights and for women's rights, and we need to enlist everyone.
And I want to add, I get credit for encouraging my granddaughter to go to law school when she didn't want to go to law school. And I kept it up and kept it up. And finally, she agreed, and she has thanked me very much because it was the right fit for her. In the same way that I knew it was going to be the right fit for her mom, and they're both terrific
She wants everybody to go to law school.
And
I want you to
Alex,
go next.
you go,
Okay, I'm
you
going
sit here
next.
long enough, she's going to get to
pre-law at
you.
USC. Let's talk for a moment. You've got a great new documentary called Seeing Allred that tells the
Yes,
story
thank
of
you.
your family
Thank
and
you.
your guys' life together. And we've got a clip that we want to show.
Fantastic.
That's kind of fun.
What do you need from me? I said, I need a picture of what you're wearing. She rang my doorbell, and I opened the door, and we're standing there face to face, absolutely identical. And she said, I gotta admit, that's funny.
And there you are at the gay pride parade in West Hollywood. What has this? Do you feel like the world has sort of come to where you were 40 years ago?
Yes, it has, and that's from Seeing Allred, which is streaming now on Netflix, and we're really proud of the great job that Netflix has done and the producers have done. So I just want to say that, yes, I've been fighting for gay and lesbian rights for many, many years, since the late 70s. And it's been a battle, and we were the first to file a lawsuit challenging the ban on marriage equality in California. I've never missed a year of being in the Christopher Street Gay Pride Parade. I've been in it for, I think, about 40 years now, and I will be in it in June as well. So, yeah, we have seen an evolution of rights, but there's still a great deal of discrimination against individuals, gay, lesbian, transgender, and we continue the battle for our clients.
Well, thank you for sharing your views, and it's nice to see at the end of the day, it's really a mother-daughter that love each other, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, look at that.
Mother's Day is every day.
Okay, there we go.
I only have one child, but one good one, really good one.
This is all she's got.
Yeah, Lisa Bloom,
Okay.
Gloria Allred, thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for sitting down with us. It has been a week of a lot of big stories, including that tragic shooting in Texas. Lots to talk about with our panel. John Phillips from KABC Radio, author Sandra Tsing of NPR and The Atlantic, and Loyola Law School's Jessica Levin. All of them are standing by. We'll talk with them next. Welcome back to The Issue Is. Our panel this week, author Sandra Tsing of NPR and The Atlantic, Loyola Law School's Jessica Levinson, and John Phillips from KABC Radio. Thank you so much for being here, all of you. John, let's start with you. Another school shooting, unfortunately. We had all of that work towards March for Our Lives, all of this Parkland students saying we never want to have another school shooting, and here we are again.
Right. It's a horrible story. It's something we hate having to report on. We hate having to read about. The carnage, the death, the misery that comes as a result of this is awful. That being said, the details in this particular case are still coming in. I will say, in general, when you're talking about gun violence, what I would do, speaking as a Republican, is I would go after people who aren't legally allowed to have guns, who already have guns. In the state of California, there are 10,000 guns that are out there that belong to people who are mentally ill, people who are convicted felons, who shouldn't be able to own these guns. There's no excuse as to why the state of California hasn't gone into those homes and taken those guns from those people who own them illegally, and that's on the Department of Justice in California because they're the ones that have dropped the ball.
Other comments, other reaction to what happened?
When I listen to you talk, I as a mother, it's just, Republicans talking about gun control, and it's been going on for so many years, and my frustration level is this high. And I have 2 teenage daughters. They go to school, LAUSD, Van Nuys High. We had a school kind of turned into a hoax shooting of a couple months ago. So I'm deeply frustrated and horrified, and I can't believe it happens over and over again. That said, it's like my kids go to school every day. I cannot wait for another march on Washington, whether we're in our pussy hats or marching for science or whatever. It's like I feel that we should, of a place of reaching across, not in front of you, but across each other, because we all want our children to be safe. And so I'm frustrated when I go to school that yes, some errant kid could get a gun from somewhere illegally and walk in. We don't have metal detectors at the front of our schools. Our doors open the wrong way.
Sure.
So if there's a way to reach across the aisle so that we can all talk about this and make it a bipartisan.
Jessica, you study this as a policy. I mean, is there a way to reach across the aisle? Could you actually see something done bipartisan on this?
Oh, of course you could, but we won't, because what we have decided in America is that it is, I mean, we decided after Sandy Hook that we saw kindergartners be carried out in body bags and that was acceptable and we wouldn't do anything about it. So it doesn't seem to me that any additional kids being murdered on at this point, regular basis will change it. We're having a debate. The debate is changing. So I would say I completely agree with what John said in terms of that is absolutely the starting point, in that we should start by taking guns away from people who shouldn't have them. But if you just do a graphic of where the U.S. is in terms of our gun laws and where the rest of the entire world is, we are such an unbelievable outlier in terms of our laws, and then you can see very easily, correspondingly, the violence. So why will something not happen? I mean, I think it's one of those issues where it's so stark because there's so much popular opinion behind there should be a change, and yet our lawmakers don't do that. Why? Because there is so much money behind the NRA, and keeping our politicians very rationally want to keep their jobs. But no one has said, I don't care if I lose my job if I'm voted out of office. I'm crossing party lines. This is the thing. Our kids are being killed, and we will sponsor new legislation. It has to happen on the federal level, on the state level. It's not going to be fast. You could do things. We're just not doing it.
The NRA isn't effective because they spend tons of money or give tons of money to members of Congress. The NRA is effective because they can mobilize their members into voting for people who do not believe in draconian gun control policies. I would also add that it's...
Draconian gun control policies? I mean, what
Like
about, background
safety.
checks is like 96% approval in the country.
If you listen to what some people on the far left are advocating for and what some of these students are advocating for, it goes far beyond that. I would add that in California, one of the things that we've done in recent years is we've taken away sentence enhancements towards those who commit crimes with guns. In my opinion, you have to enforce the law, and you have to be tough with people when they break the law involving guns. If you do that, I think that's a great start.
Last comment.
Right, and part of the left is, medicine containers have safety things on them and guns don't. I'm again continue to be just enormously frustrated with just an ID of your gun or a safety or something, that when even kids are getting killed in their own homes because they're going into the cabinet and killing themselves or shooting someone in the family, it's enormously frustrating. And to a certain extent, I'd love to have a conversation with someone from the NRA that we can sit down together and go, isn't this reasonable? You can still hunt. You can still do this.
Yeah.
But why, when we have seatbelts in cars, is there absolutely no gun control?
And we also know that...
Yeah, we're going to have to leave it there for now, but we're going to be able to talk more in our bonus issues about this online. We're going to be back with a little bit more from our panel as well. And some final thoughts from our panel. We're going to go around the group real quick, talk about the governor's race for a second. These are predictions. Who do you think are going to be the top two on June 5th in the governor's race? John.
If the polls are right, it's going to be Gavin Newsom and John Cox. However, I see Cox going down, and I see Travis Allen eking out a spot in the top two. Newsom, Allen.
All right.
If there's historic Hispanic turnout, either because people are really excited about Villaraigosa or because they're really excited about Donald Trump, then it will be two Democrats, and it will be Newsom and Villaraigosa. If not, it'll be Newsom and Cox.
And can I just give a shout out to John Chang? I just think he would be very fiscally responsible and is kind of like maybe not of the moment in this time of politics where there's a lot of tweeting and personality.
Yeah.
He just would get the job done.
And last question around the panel. Will we see any meaningful gun control in the next year?
No.
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 Not very hopeful on that front, but we have a lot more to talk about in our bonus issues. This is where you can go online right now. We're streaming with more of our panel. Facebook.com/Elex Michaelson, YouTube.com/Elex Michaelson. We're going to talk more about all the issues you saw here, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see you online. Thanks for joining us on TV. Have a great one.